How to do this? It was like, here we go. Yes, I like this. Yes. Yeah. Shut up, Lloyd. Man. Fuck is my channel's name? Sure. English. Oh, stop that. Alright, let's go. Begin the game. Oh god, this game's gonna load fast with the solid state drive.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
There are lights on these things.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never
Rude.
in all his years at the company had
Hello,
this
that's a new door.
this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Yeah, they definitely redid this to become the. Oh wait, that's right. No jumping. Oops. I was gonna do that anyways, but still.
Couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do.
Oh, it is a crowd. What the hell?
It's just a little bit closer.
Okay.
Now it's even closer.
Can I get under the desk?
Here it comes.
Oh. Was doing something. Bitch. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start by doing what he wants, just to kind of get that out of the way.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'll click on you later. Ooh, camera sensitivity. That's way down. That's better. So when is that door open? This entire little office. Since when is that door open? Yo. Want it. Oh, hello. Hi. That was fast. Thank you. Anybody out there? My computer's still playing solitaire. Alright, let's fuck with the narrator here. Thank you.
Oh, and I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be right now, in this little hallway. Here, with no distractions, to study room 417. Not to actually enter it. No, 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 no. That would be far too forward. Stanley wanted to know it from the outside. To see it not just with his eyes, but with his heart. He would know room 417 as no man or woman had ever known an office before. That ladder over there. Oh, and that little picture of a horizon or something. It's all just a never-ending parade of joy for Stanley.
Alright, are we done? Let's go.
Ah, no, apparently not. When
This room
Stanley
is
came
bright
to
as
a
hell.
set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, we're gonna do that.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Oh, hello.
Feeling
The table has like a glass center to it. What the
Stanley decided to
fuck?
go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ball up second. Yeah, okay, so that's still that's a couple of those still the same. The fuck, this table is awesome. I wonder if I can activate the server cheats on PS5 and make him throw me in that room. Fuck. Stop being sick. Right, Goose? Move over to my desk. Okay, here we go. And... haha!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Nope. Sorry, I like the broom closet. I'm gonna hang out here for a spell.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet.
I'm eating my
No
sandwich.
reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Then it's also meant for me to interact
He's
with?
literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
No.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing?
Eating.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Sitting there confused when I won't shut the fuck up and let me eat.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got
Boy,
the job
no need to
because
get
of a
personal.
family connection. That's how
Fuck you.
stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
I mean, I do like cookies. I'm sorry.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities.
Yes.
It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
God damn it, Kevin, I love you.
When you've done that, just
Well,
step
this
out
Kevin,
into the
that Kevin,
hallway.
and this Kevin. Alright, so here's piss him off.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't
You're the
do any
projector.
worse than the person who came before you.
Sure about that? Room closet's still open. Hee!
You too?
Yep.
Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species
Oh,
of invalids.
oh, both the triggers.
Perhaps
Okay.
there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
I have 2 kitty cats, and one of them's taking a shit. Alright, that's enough of that. This area's brighter,
Coming to
too.
a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yes, sir. Okay, now these should not be open yet. What? That's not supposed to open the first time through. Okay. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. That's supposed to be Honey Crisp. Whatever. Fuck you. Wait, did that shut? That did shut. Well, okay, open again. Never mind. And these doors are... Hey! Boys? I will get up from this chair and I'll whoop both your asses. Hey! Fucking invalids. Can I go up? Up. Oh, it's Stanley. Oh, yeah. Alright. Boss man.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked,
Do not know if those were here
unraveled,
before.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
5. Okay, but can
But
I
of
press?
course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Eight.
8. Oh, that's a trophy. That's a gold trophy? Ah,
Stanley just sat around twiddling his
8.
thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device
Okay.
was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
yeah. I had to make it say 8 first.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to...
Whoa! When did the lights turn
By
off?
sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
That was spooky as hell. I was gonna get jumped. Oh my god, this... I can turn the brightness, but this room is pitch black. Oops.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for
Oh, they put more shit to look at on the elevator.
The nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Excuse me 1 second, checking an email. Okay, not here yet.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That still looks the same, so I'll leave it be. Push DOS button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I'm gonna strike at these nuts. Computers.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
So I think I call the elevator and then wait.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Okay. I think if I wait here long enough, that should open back up. Oh, it did. Sitting here checking my email, it didn't even make a sound. Bitch. Alright, so. Let's hit this one. Nothing. Okay, so what is this one? Huh? Oh, that said give up. It says never give up on your dreams. High resolution secret text, okay? Secrets, secrets, secrets! Super secret bros! Oh, that's Alex and Gerard. That's 2014! Don't touch the secrets. Let me. Alright, do I just... Let's see. Oh.
No. He refused.
Oh god, it's playing while he's talking.
Accepted. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I'm blind, bitches. Oh god.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
You know, this is the room that I expected to have just a full fucking
or
face.
sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I saw that. Hold up. There. Oh my god, I got it. I still pressed the button. There's something back there. So maybe after all these years, they've thrown an ending into this part. God, I can't wait to see the first person to figure it out. But for now, we're just gonna get the basic bitch ending. Just to get this one out of the way. Wait.
And when
Off.
at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
So off. Okay. Titty itches.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes.
Yes.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
There's really no option. It's pitch black in there. This one's not really an option.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Was he, though? Why are all these trophies gold? What the hell? Alright, so that was the basic bitch ending. Look around for a minute.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy? Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks?
Yes.
Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this trophy to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley.
I'm fat. Do I look like I hustle?
A willingness to go all the way no matter the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Meow. Oh, that's the door I was staring at earlier. That door's still open and that door's still open. Anybody coming in? You.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Is that the one that was in the corner? Oh, hello. Since when were you over here? You're supposed to be over there. Whatever. You.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
That's the one. All the way the fuck over here. I've got a lovely bunch of 415.
Now, back to door number 437.
Meow.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Yeah, so you're supposed to go. Hey. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me?
Yes!
There we go.
This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Alright, that was incredibly rude. Shit. What did you tell me to click on? This one?
We've almost
Okay.
got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
And he's got so much energy, he's fixing a busted nut, and I'm sitting there coughing my brains out.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did it!
It's still rainbow.
Wow. That felt
All right.
amazing.
Yes.
Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today.
What
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Yeah, let's piss him off in the broom closet again.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I kind of want to go do the museum ending, but I think with all the new shit, the museum's going to be completely revamped. So I want to save it. Let's do this one. That light has been redone. It is completely fucked. Okay, let's go.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
Yes?
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
It's true.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for
Yes.
no reason at all?
Yes.
None of it made any logical sense. And as
I don't make any
pondered
logical
this,
sense.
He began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close
Oh, Jesus, I'm an
automatically
amputee.
behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
Still no new dialogue from
to
him.
have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts,
He thought.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else
I didn't know
would
you
the
could all
voice
the way back
explain
here.
all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in
I knew you could step on the box, but I didn't know you could get behind the car like that.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
I'm tired.
With this dream, I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. That's
Buttons!
all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
I am far from normal.
Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Says you, Bobo.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Yes. Just realized I'm not facing like where the game would be. You know what? Okay. Chill for just a minute. Okay, see what you did there. Yeah, that's good enough.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Are you here? I'm sad.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Oh, hello, Kevin. Oh, the 416 door got moved. I'm skeptical. Oh, that door does not move. All right. Oh god, it's dark.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Yes.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Also,
The
yes.
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Me too, but I didn't think you'd be so subtle about it.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've
That
never
fucking line
been
shows
more
up. I'm
ready.
out.
Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's
Hey.
as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh, I can. Okay, hi, I can jump. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Now I get that one. Okay.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content.
Another
There has to be
elevator.
something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say,
Get out of my
initial
head, Kevin.
impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If
To
this
some
is new
developers,
content,
yes.
then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley?
Oh my god, I
This
can like
is
stand
what
up inside this
happens
thing.
when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't
Ha!
get me started on the level
Meta.
of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too
Twitter
much
just got bought,
anticipation
so have
around
fun
the
with
new
that.
content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks.
God damn it, stop it.
Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Yes.
What do you say, friend?
Okay, cool. So please tell me you do it, because I don't feel like doing it. Alright. Whoa.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
But I kind of want to see what's up here. Ooh, rich. Coffee nut. These nuts.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Take a look. It's in a book. Oh god. Reading Rainbow?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Oh, like the demo or like the beta? Oh.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port?
You're
Remember
being
back in
awful.
October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Pressurized gas. The Last of Us. I want that. I want the collector's edition box. Gimme, gimme. I can't, like, trigger the demonstration from here. Hey, look, $1. I'm watching you.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote,
Oh my
"Where
god,
so many
James
games
Sterling.
that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
There's the door open. The Adventure Line! Huh.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was
I thought those
transport
were
it
stairs. I
in
was gonna go
pristine
upstairs.
condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done.
And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Oh, the serious room!
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
He said stick them.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Oh, I thought I could go around and get up in there. But I want it.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so...
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who... Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
Jesus Christ.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Well, shut
You've
the
just
fuck
been
up
frozen
then.
there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking, and you saying nothing.
It's giving light back here.
Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place?
Oh shit, I think the narrator died. Never mind, I thought that was a door. Okay.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned. They screamed. They gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First,
Wait, somebody's been here. Part of the fence that was up against the wall, like right here, is gone. Somebody's been in here. Oh wait, no, there it is. Never mind. Fucking tired.
the end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
I'm sorry. Bards. Oh, what the hell? No more birds. But really fucking dark. Hey!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked,
It's
he couldn't
raining.
find a trace of his co-workers.
Yay, I broke the game.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want. Like,
Fuck, I was gonna sneeze.
now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so
manly.
But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
Yeah,
Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
That's the end of that. He stopped singing, so.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers. All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Oh, hello.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you. You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Alright, I'm in.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new
Testing two
experience
printers at the same
built
time.
from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Nice office.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
The ultimate sequel. Oh, Jesus, I gotta go through queue. Whoa.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
That Stanley is huge. Early trading stuff's funny.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Considering I'm sick,
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
and fuck you. A balloon got stuck.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley. But I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Can you find? Collect them all, Pokemon!
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life. God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game, and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Question is, are these things just kind of sitting out in the open? Do I have to look up the butts of these things?
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle?
Yes.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Oops.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name.